Well, welcome to the Den of Iniquity. I'm joined by my compatriots here.
The iniquitous ones.
Yeah, we are just gonna kind of shoot the breeze here. I've got a couple of topics I really want to hit on, and I want to get some thoughts out there. Start with a very simple one. What do you, when you think of cigar shop lounges, what are the things that do you even like cigar shop lounges?
Oh yeah. Most of the time.
Yes.
That's I actually hated that question. I really did.
He asked it.
I know he did ask it, but because it's so subjective. Mm-hmm. And that's the cigar industry as a whole. It's extremely subjective. It's what people like, what their tastes are. But I guess for me, it's always I like to come in and I like to see that there's plenty of seating.
Yes.
Nice, large couches and chairs.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got a kind of welcoming atmosphere. You can kind of see the humidor where it's at, and preferably be able to see kind of inside, get an idea of what's in there before.
Yeah,
actually.
I hate the hidden humidor.
Yeah, the hidden
what's
humidor.
behind that door?
Yeah.
Where you almost feel like obviously you want to be a good guest, but you don't want to feel like you're somehow imposing by asking.
You don't want to be
get
intimidated.
In there?
Yeah.
You want it to feel welcoming.
Yeah.
So hospitable is what we're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, but that's not, I guess, anything really surprising or revolutionary in thought.
It's not. Well, I guess, what is it that you like about them? Just in general, let's say you have an ideal cigar lounge. What is it that you like about it?
I want something that
because there's some people just I don't like going to cigar lounges. I prefer to stay home.
I actually am one of those people.
Yeah.
Mostly, but when I go, I want something that I can't get at home.
Right. Yeah.
So
exactly.
one, if I'm not able to smoke indoors when the weather, I want to feel welcome. I want big, nice furniture, open air, good filtration system. I want a nice selection at a bar, or at least the ability to have a nice selection if I bring my own.
Right, because there was one. It is a now defunct cigar lounge in our area.
Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
And it was first of all, whoever was running it was basically presiding over its demise.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, it was a burgeoning place of social interaction. Wasn't by the last 3 or 4 years of it. But so they didn't have a bar. Okay, fine. Not every cigar lounge has to have a bar. I came in one time meeting a buddy, and I brought a bottle of cognac with me. And I'm walking through the door, and the stoner, and I'm not being mean when I say that, he literally was a stoner, which I came to find out he was actually squatting at the lounge.
Nice.
He was living there for a while.
Good Lord.
But, I mean, if you're going to squat someplace, I can't think of a better place to squat.
Yeah.
But anyway, I walked through the front door, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, dude, you can't bring bottles of alcohol in here." And I was like, I came in here all the time with it. And he was like,
"Why?"
"Yeah, ordinances."
Oh, okay.
And he didn't really elaborate. So I walked back to the car and dropped it off and had to go somewhere else to get something. I had to go get a soft drink of some kind because they didn't have that either. That's if you're not going to provide alcohol, first of all, I think that's absolute bullshit about the ordinance. First, maybe that's true, but at first it's a stupid one. Plus, what do you care if is there an enforcement?
I wonder if it has to do something with licensing.
Yeah, I mean, possibly.
That's the thing that I see.
But if you're not serving it, I'm being a lawyer, but it doesn't matter. If that's the rule, you got to get around the rule. It's not acceptable. You have to be able to have a drink.
And here's my thing. I don't think it necessarily needs to be alcohol, though, although that's a big one. Because one thing I haven't seen yet in a cigar lounge is a good coffee bar.
Well, I have, but not around here.
That's I haven't seen one. I'm sure there's tons in Florida.
Yes. Yeah. That's like a staple.
And that's what I'd like to see here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So what I like about cigar lounges is the fact that it's a place. It's one of the few places left in this country that's not, upside down, where they still allow you to smoke indoors.
Yeah.
Right. Gone are the days where you can enjoy a fine steak dinner and then go someplace in the restaurant to light up a cigar with an after-dinner drink.
They exist. They're few and far between, but they do exist.
I think those are called private clubs, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, no.
There's another. By the way, don't trick me into thinking you have an open, nice little cigar lounge when it's really a private club.
Right, exactly.
You know which one I'm talking about.
Yes.
Well, it's go on.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's
totally,
$3,000 a year.
Yeah, for $3,000 a year, you can totally sit in this room and smoke.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, the hell with that.
So I want a place, I love the place where you can smoke inside, so that's one thing. And again, I actually prefer to smoke outside more often than not, but the weather doesn't always allow that, particularly when it's rainy or when it's winter.
That's another thing they need to have, is the option to do either one.
Right,
ideally.
yeah. So, but I want to be able to smoke indoors sometimes, and so that's what a cigar lounge offers me. Plus, and this is the big one, the social interaction you can have with complete strangers, and you can pick up a conversation with someone at a cigar lounge like that.
No, that was the other thing that I have, is like sometimes I've noticed there's two different types of cigar lounges when you walk in. You have the one where you can walk in and you can talk to whoever, the staff's very friendly and the people there are very friendly. And then the other one is they're very closed off.
Right.
You walk in, and I don't think it's necessarily done out of like malice.
Right.
But it is certainly a, we're kind of, this is our own little club.
Thing.
This is our thing.
Yeah.
And it's not always extremely welcoming. The one in particular, and I won't name names, but you walk in, and yeah, they're nice enough. They'll help you if you ask, but there's extremely limited seating indoors.
Right.
There's just extremely limited seating in general, and there's just no one that's really, it seems, open to have a conversation. Everyone's got their own clique and their own group there. Yeah. Whereas, and I will name names for this one because it's positive.
Sure.
We're lit.
Sure.
I walked into there and sat down and had a great conversation with like 3-4 different people, kind of as they were kind of coming in and out. Had a great time.
Yeah, and to Lit's credit, their staff is very amenable too, because when they make it a point of greeting you, and not in an overbearing way like, hey, I can't wait to sell you something. No, it's just like, hey, thanks for coming in. Good to see you. You almost feel like they know you already. At the very least, they get you. That, yes, I came here to relax and have a good time. That's what I came here for. And they understand that. So they immediately try to accommodate that mentality right away when you first walk in.
Well, and then there's a certain etiquette to it as well. And I think there's some responsibility on the customer, So when I walked into Lit, it did not feel like I was trying to get sold anything. Right. It was just, hey, how you doing? What's going on? And having a nice conversation. But one of the things I do tend to ask when I walk in is like, hey, what's the, do I need to get a stick? What's your kind of, what's your expectation for me from sitting here and smoking? Am I able to bring my own in and stuff like that? Lit was really cool. Just like, just buy a stick, get a couple drinks.
Because there are lounges out there, it's absolutely, you cannot bring your own in. And I typically don't do that unless I know the people working there well enough where I get that that's the policy.
You have to have some cachet first, too. If it's your first time, you should probably buy something.
Definitely if it's the first time.
For sure.
And anybody that, I understand the policy, it's like, you wouldn't bring your own bottle of Jack into a bar, for crying out loud.
Yeah, so no. And I'm not.
I would do that. I did that yesterday. No, but seriously, that's like, I'm more of an introvert, so I do like talking to people, but I think it's important to have a space where you can have that. And there's also little sections where you can be alone if you had a bad day or whatever, you don't want to talk
Yeah.
So the best ones have both.
Right.
But yeah, you don't, the ones that are cliquey, like you walk in, you're like, you walked into somebody's private meeting or something.
Yeah.
I don't belong here. You don't want that feeling.
Yeah. So there's some places that are like that. I think I get to avoid most of that though, because walking into cigar lounges with you where you're knowing like 3 or 4 different people there already.
Well, that's like a cheat code.
That's a cheat code. Yeah, sometimes it's just like,
and that douchebag that does reviews with him. No, but yeah, man, if I'm thinking of the same one you're thinking, it was like some places you walk in and you feel like you're walking into a store.
Right.
And then there might be a lounge.
Right.
You should walk into a lounge and then there's the ability to go back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The feel should be more of, this is a place to relax. And if you want to buy something, great. Right. Like, obviously, the buying something is going to come naturally.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't be like the emphasis of the lounge.
Yeah.